Back out here at Beck's Travel Plaza, exit 126 just off Interstate 55 on the west end of town where we're at today. And Josh, if you would, go ahead and mention some of the specials that they've got going on this weekend.
Yeah, you can stock up on Miller Lite now for only $13.99 a case, and Natural Light 30 packs priced right at $13.79. If you're the soda drinker, they've got Mr. Pibb, Mr. Mellow Yellow, and Fanta Orange. Buy 2 12s for an incredible $5 from 9 to 10. While we're out here, you can get those specials today, of course, and also buy 1 slice of delicious breakfast pizza and receive the second slice for half price. And as you mentioned earlier, Cameron, a free 32-ounce fountain soda if you come out from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Limit 1 per customer. So getting a little thirsty, need some fuel, come on out and grab a drink and get some gas.
And then also, before we took a commercial break, we asked a trivia question. Still don't have a caller or a correct answer on that yet. It's a football-related question going back to December 2001. These two brothers, twin brothers as a matter of fact, made NFL history after winning games with overtime kicks on the exact same day. Need the name of the two NFL kicker twin brothers who made history after winning games in overtime on the exact same day back in 2001. Need the name of those players, and you will pick up a free stay from the Hampton Inn. Josh, we were discussing college football before we left, but now it's time to talk high school football. And the man who is in charge of our beloved Lincoln Rail Splitters, head coach Jared Shaner. And Coach, not necessarily the way that you wanted to end things last night, but overall a pretty decent showing against Chatham-Glenwood.
Yeah, they're a very good football team. You know, we made some mistakes that hurt ourselves. You know, one thing, you know, I'm sure we'll get into it, but the second half we played better. The first half was pretty poor. We were down 26-0. Second half we played with them and kind of hung in there, and you know, 6-6 in the second half. It ended up being 32-6. So definitely a positive for us, but lots of things we still need to be working on.
Yeah, Coach, thanks for coming in this morning. Of course, the Wisconsin fan he's supporting the Wisconsin pullover today. Of course, we're in Illinois country, but he wants to wear the badge or gear into Beck's Travel Plaza here. But Coach, really getting down into the game, it just seemed like you couldn't get anything going. It was, you know, we were throwing maybe an interception here, or there were times where we did make some good drives. I know at one point we started on R18, I believe, and went all the way down to the Chatham 26, and just kind of stalled out. It was something that we haven't seen really this year in the Railer offense, not putting some points on the board.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's just a direct credit to Chatham's defense. That's how good they were. Just every position, they're big and strong and fast. They did a nice job defending a lot of the things that we typically like to do in a game, and yeah, they were very good defensively.
Was it something, I mean, offensively, and you're the offensive coordinator and call the plays in and stuff, was that something that you were worried about this week? I know you had a chance to scout them. There were some guys that returning. I know both of the running backs were players, big helpers from last year's team. Was it something you were worried about as far as moving the ball and putting points on the board?
You know, the last couple of, not last year, but the few years before that, we moved the ball pretty well on them when we got a win a couple years ago, and then even the year before that. So I felt like we could try to do some things, and really the first 2 series of the games we moved the ball really well. I believe, you know, we didn't get a score on either one of those series, but they were in a 5-2 defense in those 2 series, and we did some things to move the ball down the field. And then they switched it up to a 5-3, and we just couldn't get anything going after that. So they made a nice adjustment. We were doing some things with James running the ball, just on, you know, our little quarterback wedge play, and then with our fullback too when they were in the 5-2, and like I said, they made the adjustment, and that kind of took us out of that.
Yeah, Glenwood 32, Lincoln 6 last night. Glenwood improves to 4-2 on the season, 3-2 in the Central State 8. Lincoln falls to 2-4, 1-4 in the Central State 8, and just some of the stats going over. Of course, Darvez Stancil, the main target for James Leisinger in your offense, 5 catches for 78 yards and 1 touchdown. Before we get into anybody else's stats, Coach, you talked about while we were taking the commercial break there on the guy that they had on Darvez, maybe the best defender guarding him all year.
Absolutely. The kid just warming up before the game, I just couldn't get my eyes off of this kid. Him and the receiver 18, they were both huge kids. Just, you didn't see that on film. You know, you can see it down on paper, and then when you see him in person. But kid did a nice job, made some good breaks on balls, and had an interception. You know, Darvez got his 5 catches, I guess, but the kid really did a good job on him.
Yeah, still, one of maybe the best or one of the best receivers in the league in the Central State. Darvez Stancil, 5 catches for 78 and a touchdown, and usually Darvez is up in that 7-8 catch range, and maybe 2 touchdowns. We had 4 one game, and usually over 100 yards. But testament to that. To that defender for putting the clamps on Darvez a little bit, even though he did have 1 touchdown. Leisinger, 7 of 20 for 91 yards, 1 touchdown to Darvez, and 3 interceptions. Coach, the 3 interceptions hurt. You said 2 of them were just bad balls, and that happens. That happens with anybody. It happens with college. Say Brett Favre throwing a bunch of those, anyways. But and the one that really kind of stopped. Does that stop you when your quarterback has turned the ball over a number of different times in the game? Does that stop you from calling the passing plays?
Yeah, it definitely puts doubt in your mind, and I have a lot of confidence in James. Sure. He's done a nice job for us this year. But like you said, you have off nights, and 2 of the balls that he threw just weren't good balls. They were inside, and the route we were running, we wanted to put them up to the outside so Darvez has a chance, and they were both underthrown, and yeah, it definitely puts a little doubt in your mind, and maybe you get a little more conservative, and then obviously that helps the defense. If you're one-dimensional, they can load up the box and shut down your run game.
Shut down the run. Coach, real quick, we've got a caller calling in, hopefully for the trivia question. Caller, do you have an answer? Hello.
Caller, if you could go ahead and speak up a little bit. We can barely hear you.
Yep, can't make it out there. I don't know what we've got. A little phone difficulty here.
Having a hard time getting to that, so we'll go ahead and disconnect that call.
Yeah, see if you can call back, and maybe Paula can get us a little louder over there, or maybe Paula can make it out.
Okay, 648-5510, the number to call on that. Go ahead and call right back. We'll go ahead and take you again.
There he is.
All right.
Got him back on.
Okay, so we've got him back on here, and caller, if you would, go ahead.
Yeah, am I live?
There you go.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I heard him on my phone. He had the right answer. Bill and Martin Dramatic brothers.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
If he calls back, I'd let him. He'd be the winner.
Okay. No, sounds good. Thanks for your honesty. And if he calls back, let's take down your name, sir. And if he doesn't get a chance to call in, we'll get those tickets.
Okay, Bart Miller.
Bart Miller. Okay, Bart. We'll see what if that fellow calls back in. Hopefully he does. If not, we'll have the Hampton and check back in with us.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah. Thanks, Bart.
Alrighty, so the Gramatica brothers 2001, they went ahead and made history with those overtime kicks. And Coach, before we had the caller, we were just kind of talking about some of the matchups last night on the defensive side of the ball, and how Chatham-Glenwood, they always have a pretty decent defense going up, one of the better regarded defenses in the Central State A Conference. Do you think that their size necessarily was something that kind of overpowered us? They have tremendous size and strength for their school.
Absolutely. I talked to the kids about it afterwards, and some of that is just naturally maybe being a big physical kid. But the first point that I made to our kids after the game, we had some kids that were hurting after the game, and I said that's what 10 months in the weight room does for you. Year round, from the time you're in 7th or 8th grade and through your senior year, because you could physically tell when we warmed up, other than maybe a couple of our bigger kids, every one of their kids was bigger and stronger than our kids.
Yeah, and that takes a toll. There, as you said, a couple guys were hurting in the locker room, and that is definitely always helps. But real quick, caller, the first caller that we had, if you want to call back in and talk to Paula and give your name, you were the winner. You did have the correct answer, so give us a call back here, and Paula will take down your info, and we'll get those Hampton Inn stay for you, Coach. But like you said, the speed of Chatham-Glenwood was the problem. Of course, Tony Giovanelli, 8 rushes for 129 yards. Devin Nordham Moore, 20 rushes for 174 yards. both of those guys were back from last year, and they were both beasts last year, and even more this year.
Yeah, they are tremendous football players. I think we might have mentioned it last week. Both of those guys on state qualifying. I believe it was the 4x1 and the 4x2 last year for their track team, and yeah, you know, the number 34 Van Noordheim Moore, he's a little more physical maybe. And 7, just he runs like a deer out there.
Well, Coach, no rest for the Railers. You've got to travel up to Springfield, down to Springfield today and watch Springfield take on Rochester, which will be a heck of a game. Yeah. And then you've got state ranked, I believe, in 6A, Springfield next week. So no rest. You've got to get right back to the drawing board and try and contend with the speed and especially that quarterback for the Senators.
Bolden is, you know, maybe one of the best athletes in the conference, and been watching some film last night and this morning on him already, and yeah, he just does some things that he's pretty impressive.
Yeah, uncoachable.
It is.
Unteachable. You know, those things just happen. So, Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll have a better outcome next week. So have a good week of preparation, and we'll
Badgers?
No. Well, I'm okay if the Badgers beat Michigan State, but my beloved Illini got to pull one out. I pull one out. So good luck to you next week, and of course we'll have you back here on 96.3 The Cheap Seats next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, and of course you can get all that action of Railer Sports. The official voice of Lincoln High School Sports is 96.3 WLCN. Like Josh mentioned, the Railers will be taking on the Springfield Senators next week. A game, of course, you can hear right here on this station. Our good old friend Bobby V and the coach Kent Schweitzer will have the call for you next Friday night. So we thank Coach Jared Shaner for coming into that. Josh, we've had fun out here out at Beck's today, and next week we are going to be out at Eaton. Eaton Corporation is where we will have the show next week, and I believe we've also got, I think we've got Jake's coming up here. We've got Jake's Furnishings coming up on October 16th, and then October 30th, our last one for the month, will be at the Christian Village. So good locations that we'll be at the next couple of weeks. We always invite you to listen to us every week, 9 to 10. We're going to be here, and we're going to be here just as long as you guys keep listening to us. He's Josh Komnick. I'm Cameron Kurtz. You've been listening to The Cheap Seats on 96.3 WLCN, the official voice of the Lincoln Railers. Until next week, we'll see you down the road.